How's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7 back again. The voice has not recovered from Thursday against Brighton. Yeah, I could barely talk the day after. That much singing was getting done. Just had to just give maximum everything to support the lads because they were giving every fucking drop on that pitch. But yeah, we've finally made the last home game of the season, and what a game it's going to be. Still plenty riding on this game. Of course, for Leicester, it's all about fighting against relegation. We know what that is like. They will be putting everything out on the line, surely, for this game. For Newcastle, it's the chance to, yeah, get into the Champions League. Who would have thought that? I mean, not even the most optimistic fan thought we'd get in the Champions League. Let's be honest. I mean, at a push, at a huge push, I think most of us thought there was a chance of maybe getting into, you know, Europa Conference League. Europa League maybe be a dream season if we could have got into that, but to get into the Champions League, nobody sane and not drunk at the time predicted that we would get into the Champions League. But here we are, we're on the precipice of returning to the elite European competition for the first time in 20 years. 2 decades have gone by since we were last in the competition with Sir Bobby Robson, and yeah, it's all on the line against Leicester. And you know, it's not just my voice that's suffering a little bit at the moment. There is a lot of tired legs, there is a lot of bangs and injuries, and players who are going to be missing this game on Monday. So, you know, you can never take for granted in the Premier League any game at all. You've got to remind yourself that not too long ago, we lost against Cambridge. So anything is possible. It has been a great season, and I'm sure that the lads will see it out. They will do what they need to do. We will rejig where we need to rejig, and we'll get the points. Get to that in a minute, but we can't take it. We cannot take it for granted yet. And I'm one of these Newcastle United fans who've been there, seen it, got the T-shirt, and got the war wounds, got the scars, travelled up and down all over the place following the lads. I've seen some right shite, so I take nothing for granted until it's the full-time whistle and the scenes inside St James's Park. And hopefully it was ever in charge of the sound system is playing that Champions League music. That would be absolutely perfect. But you know, we've got to go there, we've got to do a job, and if we do that job, it is going to unfortunately relegate Leicester City. They will drop down to the Championship if we beat them at St James's, and it'll be up to them to bounce back like Newcastle United did. It is possible. It is not easy, but it is possible, and I certainly think they would be one of the favourites to come straight back up if they were to go back down. Unlucky Mackems, I'll just add that one in. Mackems obviously blew their big chance. It was all going to be the North East derby at Wembley, wasn't it? It was going to be Sunderland and Middlesbrough, and yeah, that went tits up. That went absolutely tits up. But what's not going to go tits up is Newcastle United getting into this Champions League. But yeah, it's great. Last game, home game of the season, and there is absolutely loads riding on it. Eddie Howe spoke in his press conference about the fact that he's going straight to the physio's room to find out who the hell he's got left, because at the end of the game, Bruno's hobbling around, Joe Linton's hobbling around on one leg, you've got Joe Willock with on crutches leaving the stadium, Sean Longstaff, he's got ligament damage. Yeah, don't even get me started on that one. I'm sort of pissed about that tackle and that whole situation down at Woodison Park. But he's realistically probably not going to be involved in this game. We sold Dave One, didn't we, John Joe Shelby? So we literally are getting down to the bare bones. So it may be that we have to do a slight rejig in that central area. Now, Elliot Anderson came on and he had a cameo appearance. What, it was about 25 minutes, half an hour, something like that. Against Brighton, and I thought he looked okay. I mean, he's played at numerous positions this season, but certainly the middle of the park he can do a job there. You know, he didn't do great when he started previously. I think it was out in the cup, did he? But you know, you just got to judge him upon what you've seen. You know, last time out, what we've seen more recently, and you know, he's looked fantastic. He's looked absolutely fantastic. So fingers crossed. That looks to me the most likeliest, the most obvious route to sorting out our problems. Elliot Anderson comes in beside Bruno and Joe Linton, and there you go, sorted. However, I have seen other ways that we could get around it, and social media people coming up with yeah, solutions to our you know, issues in that area of the pitch. It all just seems to be hitting in that, you know, central midfield area, doesn't it? And I've seen St Maximin playing as the number 10, Mickey playing as the number 10 ahead of Bruno and Joe Linton, and doing it that way. Now obviously internationally Miggy has done the number 10 role for Paraguay, so there'll be no issues and no problems there, so perhaps that is something that he will look towards. St Maximum has got to be desperate to get in, to get involved, and to get a few, you know, a few goals as well against Leicester. So yeah, I can see the logic in on that one. And then obviously it's who would you put either side. Miggy, I thought in the last game was absolutely and utterly back to his very, very best. I thought he was very unfortunate not to score in the game, but he was a thorn in their side for the entire game. And you know, without the likes of Sean Longstaff, and I've spoke before about the amount of work that that lad gets through, and every inch that he covers, you know, week in, week out. We need that workman, you know, that workman type performance. So I think Miggy's definitely going to play on the right side, even if Jacob Murphy does shake off this niggle that he's got. I thought that Miggy and Trippier on the right side as a two were brilliant. Trippier was fantastic, you know, 2 goals off set pieces, good corners getting knocked in. So yeah, absolutely and utterly fantastic. So I don't imagine that that's going to be changed too much, and I think Eddie's going to just basically send them out. It was ever left over, whoever he can sort of just patch up, if you will. Just that message, you know, one final push, lads, let's just do it now. Of course, we do have the safety net of Chelsea away, and again, Chelsea have not got anything to play for. They've had an absolutely awful fucking season, but we don't want to take it to the last game of the season. We want to get this sorted now. Of course, this could all be irrelevant if Aston Villa can do us a favour, but it's Aston Villa, and you know, I don't look to any other club to do us a favour. If we are to get into this Champions League this season, we'll do it because of ourselves, and in spite of the fucking agenda and the referees and the fucking shit decisions and the VAR and so on and so forth. So you know, not just that, but I just sort of think it'll be better Monday, the atmosphere and everything else like that. You know, if it's already done and dusted, it'll be a party atmosphere. I've no doubt about that. But you know, if we do it on Monday, earn it ourselves. You know, the noise at the end of the game against Brighton was absolutely fantastic, and I'd love a little bit more of that type of thing. So if we get the victory that we need on Monday and we earn the Champions League there and then, that's absolutely great for me. If it does go to Chelsea, then it goes to Chelsea. You know, if the game ends up as a draw, we need more points down at Stamford Bridge, then that is what we'll have to do, and it'll still be an absolutely amazing, fantastic achievement. But I just want to do it and earn it at St James's Park in front of, you know, a magnificent support, another sellout, another full house at St James's. That's where I want to do it. I think that's where everybody else wants it to be sorted and to be done. And like I say, if Eddie Howe could just patch them up and send them out, and we have that same level of dedication and intensity. Even the likes of Pep Guardiola mentioned it in his press conference. Even he's been blown away by the style of play, the high press. We were all over Brighton like a fly round shit. And even when they came back into it at 2-1 after we should have gone 3-0 up, we were just different, absolutely different gravy. We look absolutely obsessed and absolutely destined for this Champions League qualification. So yeah, it's just going to be about who is left, who is fit, who is available to be able to you know, to call on for this game. There is also the possibility that you could play Fabian Schär and push him into midfield. I just thought of that one as well. Obviously, he's done that internationally before. Moved Dan Burn across and played Matt Targeting at left back, so another possibility. So look, Eddie Howe has options. He can change things around. You know, it's not the world's worst situation to have. It's just rather unfortunate that we've got a few injuries at once, and it's all in one area that we were weak on. Even in January, you know, when we let John Joe Shelby go, we knew we'd be weak in this area, and it's just sod's law, isn't it? But yeah, team news for this game: no Emil Kraft, no Jamal Lascelles. I doubt Murphy will be involved from the start. He might get onto the bench. We know about Sean Longstaff. We know about Willock. Yeah, he's been sent away, and Eddie Howe spoke about fingers crossed. You don't know. There's no chance at all. He's been carrying knocks and injuries and strains and stuff for weeks now, Joe Willock. Just get back, you know, ready for next season, so he won't be involved either. So I expect us to line up with Nick Pope in goal. Absolutely fantastic. There's no chance for Dubravka to force his way back in. Dubravka will be off this summer, 100% on that one. Across the back, Trippier, who was absolutely fantastic. Player of the season contender. I have no issues and problems with that. He's been a fantastic leader for us. It's like having a manager out on the pitch, it really is. Trippier at right back. In the middle two, Sven Botman and Fabian Schär have been, again, great. You know, you're talking about a great team. It's always built upon a great defence, and we certainly have that. And we have two fantastic centre-backs there. And talking about centre-backs, who left back, Dan Burn. Look at that celebration and what it meant to be able to score. And it was hilarious because we always say around us where we sit and look, he's what, 6 foot whatever, but he jumps at about 5 foot. You know, for a lad as tall and as big as he is, he doesn't score enough headers. What a time to get your first league goal for Newcastle United, and he certainly likes to score important goals. Wouldn't mind another one on Monday, if I'm being honest. So Dan Burn there at left back. That's your defence that's been tried and tested week in, week out. In the midfield area, I think he's going to go with Elliot Anderson personally. So I think Bruno and Joe Linton will be patched up, mended up, sticky plaster, magic sponge. They'll be okay to start this game. I can't imagine that they're going to last it out. I really can't. So it's going to be interesting with substitutions. I think Miley might actually get on in this game at some point. But yeah, Bruno, Joe Linton and Elliot Anderson in the middle areas. On the right hand side, Miguel Miron, 10 out of 10 performance for me. Last time out, he'll be on the right hand side, and it's then who do you go with on the left? Obviously you pull Joe Linton in from one side. You've got Alan St. Maximum desperate to get in. You've got Isaac, who's been played out there for the time being to accommodate for Callum Wilson up front, who is literally on fucking fire. You talk about Dan Burn. Burn, baby, burn. Well, the man who's on fire is Callum Wilson. He'll play up top, so it's then who do you play wide left, and I think he's going to go again with Isaac. He's one of our best players, and you play your best players as often as you can, and I think that's the birth for him for the time being. St. Maximin will be disappointed, no doubt about it. It's been a stop-start, up and down, topsy-turvy type of season for him. The bloke who's carried Newcastle United over previous campaigns on his shoulders, but this season it just hasn't worked out for him. So Isaac on the left-hand side, Callum Wilson up top, looking to add to his goals. His best season to date, 11 since the beginning of April, is absolutely fantastic. Ran himself into the ground. He looked like he was literally on the ropes in the second half, like against Brighton. But he'll go again. He'll be ready again. And when there's those celebrations after the game, the lap of appreciation that the players will no doubt go on, the scenes in the terraces and stuff like that, he will be heavily involved in that. So to recap, Pope in goal, Trippier, Botman and Schär, Dan Burn at left back. In the middle, Elliot Anderson, Bruno and Joe Linton. On the left, Alexander Isak. On the right, Miguel Miron, and up top, Callum Wilson. With the likes of Jacob Murphy on the bench, Alan St. Maximin on the bench, young Miley, he'll be on the bench, and I'd imagine that he in this game will get on into that midfield area, because I just don't see our midfielders who will be starting that game being able to see it out. So either Bruno or Joe Linton, there'll be changes in the second half, and it's about getting it done. So starting with the right intensity, getting our noses ahead, getting a few goals. And I think once you get the first goal against Leicester, despite the fact of the position that they are in, history tells us, recent games have told us that once you score the first goal against them, that the mentality side of it lets them down and they'll crumble from there. And it could be, again, that we score a couple of goals in, and it looks on the face of it quite an easy day at the office. But I'm not expecting an easy game. I really am not, because you look at Leicester's team and they are in a dog shit position, but they've got some really talented players on paper. It's very much like when we went down and we had the Duffs and the Owens of the world, in the starting team, in the 11. Great players on paper, great names. But when it comes to, the nitty-gritty, when it comes to working as a team, when it comes to working as a united front, they're just absolutely non-existent. And it's hard to put a finger on that. They've had change of managers and everything. There hasn't been a great deal of money spent there recently, but they shouldn't be anywhere near the bottom of this table when you look at the players that they've got. But Newcastle have to go out there. We have to do the business. You can't let any sort of sympathy, or you can't let feeling sorry for the opponents get in the road. You've got to be ruthless, and we need to go out there, get the early goal and smash them. Absolutely and utterly just smash them by a couple. And secure a Champions League football, a return to Champions League football for Newcastle United at the end of the day. And I cannot wait for the atmosphere and the scenes inside and outside of the stadium, after this game and after our place in the Champions League is confirmed. And at that point, it will start a huge avalanche of tears and accusations from other fans. Whoever misses out, whether that's Liverpool, whether that's Manchester United, their supporters will be crying, no doubt about it. But regardless, because I've seen loads of comments over social media, salty little comments on social media. It's the Saudi money this and the Saudi money that. You really need to have a look at the players who are playing for us, who's on the bench. A lot of the players who are starting, the spine of a lot of the team, is the team that has been there for years and years and years and years, and it's just rewards, and it, for them sticking around through the hard times, through the difficult times, through the tough times, through the Mike Ashley days, through the Lee Charnley incompetence days. It's great reward for them. We have signed players, we have spent a little bit of money, yes, but we've not gone round and done what Manchester City or Chelsea back in the day did. We haven't ripped up the entire squad and just gone out and bought a total brand new one. We've gone for quality over quantity. We've gone for the right type of characters and really done our homework and our due diligence about who we have brought in, and it's getting that blend that has brought us to where we are. But for every bit, the Trippier's been fantastic, Bruno's been fantastic, Isak's been fantastic, Sven Botman, how fucking good has he been? Dan Burn, the list does go on. Those players that we've brought in have been fantastic, but yet so have some of the other players that we've already got. Nick Pope, great. But you're looking at your Joe Lintons of the world, you're looking at Jacob Murphy's of the world. These are players who were there before. Fabian Schär, what, £2.5 million he cost. All over the place. There are players there. Callum Wilson, Alan St Maximin, who I said before, he carried the fucking club on his shoulders through the hard times, and we're now balls deep into fucking qualification for the Champions League. So it's not as easy as saying they've come in, they've spent this money, Arab money, oil money, blah blah blah. It's not as easy as saying that. And in saying that as well, you've got to look in context. Arsenal in the Emirates Stadium. You've got to look at Manchester City and all the money. It's all right having all the money, but it's about what you do with the money and how you approach things. Newcastle United, we cannot go out there and just spend absolutely freely, because yes, no debt or anything, you know, attached to the club at the time. However, the financials, the revenues that we bring in are so minuscule because Mike Ashley starved and suffocated and gave out freebies left, right and centre to all of his fucking, you know, companies like fucking Sports Direct and Fraser's and this, that and the other. You know, signed us up to commercial deals which were fucking kamikaze at best. We therefore can't go out spending money without any consequence with regards to staying within FFP. We all can't do everything, you know, just fuck FFP, now it'll ever happen. We cannot do that. We've got to stay within the constraints of it all. We've got to do it step by step. We've got to get the commercial partners in. We've got to improve the current commercial deals, bring on new people as well, and grow the club that way, and grow it the right way with strong, solid foundations, which is exactly what Amanda Staveley said the first day that she came in. We will get the foundations right. We will set everything up for it to succeed, and then it will just grow organically itself, and that is what's happened. The only thing is, we've probably done it 2-3 years ahead of schedule to what even they would have thought in their wildest dreams.